All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a little comparative video between these two vehicles, the 2010 Acura TL Super Handling All-Wheel Drive and the 2003 Acura CL 3.2 liter. This Type S. They're both 6-speed manual transmissions. We'll go over the specs real quick between the two. So we'll pop the hood on this guy. Take a look at the inside, the engine bay here. All right, like I said, this one is a 3.2 liter. It is a V6. It's got stock 260 horsepower, 232 foot-pounds or 232 pounds-feet of torque. And it does have this is front-wheel drive, limited slip differential. Let's go ahead and take a look at the TL here and pop the trunk there. Alright. So this guy, put the specs up underneath there as well. This one is a 3.7 liter V6 and it's got 305 horsepower, 273 pounds-feet of torque. And it is an all-wheel drive system, so super handling all-wheel drive. It does have torque vectoring, or that one's just front-wheel drive with its limited slip differential. So I'm going to kind of go over some comparisons that I have, and basically the first set of comparisons I'm going to go through is basically how the car drives. Its steering feel, its braking feel, its shifting feel, how the seats feel, comfortability with the seats, and then the power band and the power feel and the fun factor with how the car's power is, and like where the power is and how that correlates to how fun the car is for driving. And then cornering, basically how it takes the corners and how well the car feels going through like switchbacks and some nice cornering roads and cruising feel. So, and then I'm going to go over like the looks and styling. So we'll compare the wheels, what we think of the wheels, what the front view looks like, back view, and quarter angle back view. So just to start, the steering feel between the two cars, if I were to say one better than the other one, I would say the TL definitely takes the cake with the steering feel. It definitely feels better when you're driving the car. The steering on this, it's tighter, it's quicker, it feels way more sporty than the CL. Now that's not to say that the CL feels bad, it's just the TL, in my opinion, is definitely a better steering feel than the CL. Quicker, sportier, just an overall better feel. All right, now this will give us an example of how the steering is. I mean, here's a little corner up here. You're definitely turning it just a little bit more. It's definitely not as sporty feeling as the TL. You got to turn that wheel, quite a bit more to get that turning capability. It's not bad, but it's definitely more noticeably sporty and a lot quicker response on the TL than it is with this CL. It's a lot longer turning. All right, coming up to this roundabout, you'll be able to see kind of a little bit just how the steering feel is. It's actually it's nice going through these roundabouts like this. It's not much turning you have to do. The turning ratio on this is pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. You don't have to turn very far to get a lot of steering ability. It doesn't take much, where a lot of the like even the older Acuras and some of the Honda Accords and stuff, you're spinning your wheel like this to get some of your turning ability. So this one's a lot sportier and a lot quicker. The braking feel, I would almost say that these are going to be a tie with maybe the TL with a slight edge. TL does have stronger, quicker braking response than the CL, and I'm basing that off of the standard brakes that I had put on there originally, and then obviously I put better brakes on now. But this one only started feeling real nice when I put on the Brembo brakes, the rotors and pads. That definitely upped its braking capability, but it did not come with that stock. So that's why I would edge to this one. This one does have a better braking feel than the CL. Now, as far as the power band feel, this TL definitely has a smoother power band and is definitely quicker than the CL. Now, as far as fun factor with that power band, it doesn't feel quite as fun because of that. I mean, it does feel great. Like, I mean, it's powerful, and you definitely are faster than the CL. But with this, if you know how to drive the CL right, there's definitely that point in the power band where it hits and it picks up so quickly that it almost makes you feel like you're going faster. It makes it almost feel at certain points that it's more powerful, just because it's lagging a minute and then whoa, it really takes off towards the top end. So if you like that feel, it definitely feels pretty fun, especially if you keep it in that power band. So from first to second to third, and you really just keep it in there. It's a good feeling, even though it is slower and it's not as conducive as, you know, this car getting off the line and even getting on the highway or something like that. But the constant smoother line, there's not that disparity between kind of going slower and then whoa, really picking up, which you get with the CL, and you don't get that as much with the TL. So there is an element of, there's a little bit of fun factor in that, with getting that higher RPM, just slamming some power towards the end, kind of like how some of the turbos are with the turbo lag, which, you know, it feels like whoa, you're getting way more power, even though it's technically slower. But so between the two, fun factor, you get a little bit more fun factor on that, but obviously this one wins with the overall power. You are going to be faster, and it is more powerful. Even power to weight ratio is slightly better. All right, so we'll get a little better angle of the power band here in second gear. So we'll give it all the way up. I'm flooring it now, so it's a little laggy. Then it goes, and now you're feeling the power. So it definitely takes some time to get most of that power. It's more spurty than the TL is. Then when it hits its power band, man, it feels pretty nice. But it definitely is not as solid of a power band or as the TL is. Like, you're not getting it as early. It's not laggy down low, but definitely it kicks up more at the end. So you need if you want to drive this thing with the most power, you gotta keep it in that I would say anything above 4,000 to 4,500, you really notice it, because it is kind of underpowered down below. Where the TL, you don't notice that as much. You got a lot of power anywhere, and obviously you get the most power at the top, but it's a lot more smooth of a line, if that makes sense. All right, this will give you a good feel of how the power band is on this. So just kind of go up through second gear. You see there's the turning radius there again too, not too bad. Not turning to a whole lot to get this full hairpin, but then we'll go all the way up through second. Kind of just goes all the way up, doesn't really have much of a big spurt. It's just power the whole way through. Doesn't jump up at the end like a lot of other cars do, where they get them, you know, way more power. It's kind of lagging a little bit, and then you get way more power at the very, you know, top end of your RPM. Now, cornering when driving, the CL does very well in cornering. You definitely can feel the car. It's very manual feeling. You can feel the road. It is a comfortable car to drive, taking on some nice back roads. Comparing it to the TL is a heavier car, so you definitely it's a larger, heavier car going through those corners. You get the nice light feeling here, even though this one does weigh over 3,400 pounds. They're about a 400-pound difference in weight, so it's nice to get the light feel of this. But with this thing having the super handling all-wheel drive, it really takes off a lot of that weight feel. I mean, it really pushes and pulls through those corners. If I were to compare the two and say which one is better and feels better taking it through the corners, I would go with the TL. The TL definitely takes the cake on cornering and the feel, the handling feel that you get through corners and taking them through back roads. Definitely feels better than the CL. Not to say that the CL feels bad, it's just it's not quite as fun taking it out in the corners as the TL is. The TL between the two wins on the cornering aspect. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and compare the seating between the TL and the CL. The seating that I'm going to go with as far as what's more comfortable than the other one, I'm going to lean towards the CL. I feel a CL has some of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in. So I'm going to go for the CL over the TL on the seating. The TL seating is still comfortable, just not quite as comfortable. Now, the shifting between the two cars, I actually, and some you might be surprised because on this car I went with the TL over the 911 Turbo, but between the two, this one's great and amazing. I love it. I think I'm gonna go with the CL as far as the shifting. The shifting on the CL is better than the TL, even though this one, how amazing and great it is. I feel like the CL takes the cake as how smooth and buttery the shifting is, comparatively speaking. The shifting on this one, actually, even when I was driving that one for a long time and hadn't driven this car in a while, I got back in here and drove it, and I think it is because maybe it's because it's front wheel drive as opposed to all wheel drive. It just the shifting on this one felt better. Now, the biggest thing that I noticed that still felt, I mean, these are nuances. They're it's very small margin. Like, that one still feels amazing. They're very, very similar. They're both Honda 6-speed transmissions made by the same company. So obviously very similar, but the clutch play to the shifting, the clutch play, the engage point and everything feels a little bit better, and getting into gears just feels better, just slightly better. But that's an opinion base. Other people driving it may not find the same conclusion I have, but driving them both, this one was my daily before that one was my daily. This one does just slightly edge out, in my opinion, over the TL. Now as far as the styling, we're gonna talk about the front view of each. I would say between the TL and the CL, the front view on the CL is definitely going to win. I like the view of this car better than the TL. The TL does not look as good to me as the CL does in the front. As far as the wheels, I am going to go with the TL. The TL's stock wheels look better than the CL's. I like the 5-spoke look. This is overall styling, and the kind of darker gray color to me looks better than the CL's. The CL also has the gray kind of look, but it's a little bit lighter, and it is a 6-spoke, technically 12-spoke because it's got the little gash in the middle there. But between the two, yeah, I like the TL wheels better than the CL Type S wheels, and these are CL Type S wheels that are on here that you only get if you have the Type S. All right, and we're looking at the back view. I think the TL that's its best feature as far as the looks department, with its dual exhaust. Almost looks like quad exhaust down there. It's definitely its best feature as far as styling. It looks really sweet from the back. It looks really awesome. This is my favorite view for the TL. Now, not to stick away with the way CL looks from the back, I do like the way the CL looks from the back, but just not as much. I would say the TL definitely looks better from the back. The three-quarter angle view. Again, I'm gonna choose the TL over the CL, even though I do like 3/4 angle view of the CL better than its just straight back view. But I think the TL still wins quite. They're pretty close. It's very close to a tie on these as far as that back corner angle. But I think the TL is gonna have a slight win on that. So overall, between these two cars, if I had to choose between owning one over the other, I would have to go with the TL. That would be the car that I would choose if I had to choose between the two. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that. I'm going to keep both. The main thing, one thing I really like about the CL, obviously, is its rarity. This is one of 800 specifically, where there's significantly more TLs out there. They were made between 2010 and 2014 with the 6-speed manual, where this one was literally just made 1 year in 2003 with a 6-speed manual, and they made a total of 1,800 of them roughly. So with that being said, I really like having the CL, and I'm not going to let it go for that reason alone. But if you're just talking about straight up car enjoyment and car fun between the two, I would choose the TL over the CL.